Hello and welcome to the Handicapable Black Woman Throne Room. My view of humanity is a whole new tea. Okay, so we are going to go through dating nightmares again. And this is kind of a part two, but I don't remember what the episode name was for this topic. And I would have to hunt down the screenshots from the example one that was like might have been almost a year ago. So, but yeah, this is about bored minutes. Why do so many men, okay, why do men get mad at women like myself for working on my dreams, working on my projects, starting my own business? Why get mad at me when a lot of you guys only, like when you're bored, you either play your video games or something, which yeah, I like video games. Right now for me it's not the time because I'm focusing on my disability life and fighting justice for this awful political atmosphere we're in right now, working on my business with the greeting cards, novels, the bingo reading cards, and just a list of on and on activity books, blah blah blah, whatever. But that's what I'm doing. And with my board minutes, I don't have board minutes. It's like I have depressed minutes, but that's a different story for a different day. But it's just like I I'm never going to be bored. I always have something to do. And it's crazy how a lot of men on dating apps, I catch them, then they get mad at me for catching them. Okay. Last week alone, two or three, one was in Chicago, two were in Ohio, but they were just like, they match, and all of a sudden they're like, yeah, come on over to my house. Excuse me? And one of them might have said hello, but the others didn't even have a hello. Their hello was, come over to my house. I'm not even in the same state as you. That's hours away. And one of them, at least, I mentioned in another video, offered me gas money. And I'm just like, no. And so I just stopped responding to him. But it's crazy how a lot of the men, I don't have to, like, I let them block me. And especially I've learned this when, like, after the Meet Me and the Scout dating apps and stuff, when I listed my standards and men just wanted to troll me. Like, instead of finding women that match your standards, like, when you see that I don't match your standards, keep it moving. Your goal is to find a woman that you want to have a connection with. And most men, they only want to sleep with, but they want to have a connection with. So, yeah, technically that is a connection, but that's not the type of connection I'm talking about, but or that I would hope. But anyway. But it's like I caught another guy today. He's just writing me because he's bored. And this is like, I feel like right before spring, a lot of men do this. It's like there's certain times of the year where men are just like, I'm bored, so let me distract some women, or let me try to get some women off their A game or off what they're doing. And it's like even though it's a dating app and I'm supposed to quote unquote show interest, it's like because there's this one guy named Tyler, and yeah, all the way from Kansas, all the way in Kansas. That's all the information I'll give or whatever, but it's crazy how this is the second or third time he's tried. Like, some of the guys, they'll get on the dating app and they'll swipe right on hundreds of women or whatever, or even they might just swipe on a few at a time and then tell them all hello, call them all beautiful. And okay, I'm going to be sound really scattered, but that's one reason I can't stand when men try to give me pet names. They don't mean it. And about a year and a half ago, there was this one jerk where he was like, he called me one of the pet names, beautiful or gorgeous or whatever. And I asked him politely, can you please not call me that? Next thing I know, he's calling me out of my name, saying, you're not going to tell me what I could do. You're not going to give me. And this is how I know he's probably a Republican, no good, bigoted, sexist imbecile. Because it's like, I'm a grown woman and I'm asking you not to call me pet names. It's like, if he was my boyfriend, it's like, yeah, it's like when I'm in a relationship, yes, those pet names I think are cute. And it's like when you call me darling or beautiful or gorgeous or princess or whatever, then it's cute. But when like several men every week are calling me beautiful and I mean like and everything, and then they either get annoyed that I'm starting my like there's a couple guys from last week. Once I said, "Oh yeah, it's like I'm writing my novels," and one of them, like I mentioned in another episode, he was just like, "Oh, I don't have time for like women like that," or it's like, "Oh, women like you are trouble," and another guy, he was just like, "I just need a woman to cook and sleep with me." It's like other than that, I don't want her to do anything, and it's just like the messages and the things that I get from and it's like I literally have to screenshot these messages, which I started the collection on Patreon. So if you want to get on there, it's like I have so many more to load on. I think it's in between like 300 to 400 different screenshots and everything. So, and sometimes if I make a mistake and repeat, it's like right now, it's like I loaded a lot of the ones that are already in my system. And so now I'm going to slowly like back it up or so I can kind of slowly delete them off my cell phone and everything because I have so many examples. So many examples. And it's just crazy how with Tyler, it's like we like okay the first time was like December 19th, and we talked and chatted a little bit, but then he got bored, and because I was the last one that said like what I'm working on or whatever, and next thing I know, today match again. And so I literally told him, oh, I see you only use this when you're bored. And when I do that, like he hasn't responded, he's probably just gonna block me. But most other cases when I do it, it's like one guy was like, well, you didn't sleep with me, or you won't come over, or you won't do as I need. It's like I need a woman in my bed. And there was one guy where, oh, today marks the first day of Middle Eastern American Month. So happy Middle Eastern American Month. If you did not know, now you know, and just know that every nationality and heritage has a month. So it's like I cannot stand when white people, Caucasian, European American people tell me they wish they had a white month. And it's like, first, white came from a racist like history back because of voting and things like that. That's how white came about. So like if you really want to know and learn, you need to read some books. But you guys, this only hurts if I'm talking about you. Okay, okay. But yeah, so it's like because Italian American month, French American month, German American month, all of them have a month. But there are so many ignorant people, they don't look it up. I've known this for years. I've known this for years. And I've said this before, but even when I was teaching K through 8 and my college classes, it's like with my college classes, it's like last month I would show businesses by everybody, but especially African Americans. This month, I would show Middle Eastern representation, Middle Eastern small businesses, and and it's also Women's Month, so women own businesses and things like that. Disability American Month, I would show, and like Hawaiian. I mean, like so. But anyways, like I'm a little off topic, but it's just crazy how men always say that, like there's so many men who say they're bored, they have nothing to do, or they want me to entertain them, especially like when after they're done with their video games. There was one guy who literally he matched with me or whatever, and then next thing I know, he's like, yeah, I have two kids right now, but that's going to be three kids in a couple months. And I was like, excuse me? And so then he said that he impregnated the the female version of Satan and everything, and he can't stand her, but they're having a baby. And I'm like, well, you, well, you did a lot more than you couldn't stand her that one night for 5 minutes or 10 minutes maybe, but yeah. And but it's like he literally wanted me to call him while he was playing video games, and then he's screaming at the screen, saying vulgar language, all this other stuff. And then one of his, like it was on speaker, so I'm hearing what other players are saying, and one of them says the N word. And I'm just like, you know what? Let me get off the phone. Oh, you're the sensitive type. You're too sensitive. It's like all of them use that word. It's not a big deal. It's just a word. Get over it. Um, hmm. You're using your no good white privilege token, like basic white man. Like, no, don't go there. Don't. You have the nerve to say it's just a word. You have the nerve to say it's just a word. So then I want, like, if I'm talking to him on either the phone, or I hate Snap, but it's like I don't want like men that I don't know or trust to have my phone number yet. And I only do that if there's no other option or whatever, but usually there is an option, so I use those options. And so I blocked him on Snap. And like some men are so desperate, like he, like since I have a unique name, he hunted me down and found me on the LinkedIn. It's like a few guys have done that, and I'm just like, if it's not a match, leave me alone. You're bored. You are bored. Like, and it's just to the point where guys, men, it's like, okay, and okay, this is coming from a woman, because, or a woman who only dates men for right now. But yeah, I know there's women out there who probably do the whole board minutes, or and they probably do the I'm broke so I need a free lunch or free dinner. I've heard all that. So I am a woman, but at the same time, I will never go out with a guy just for a free meal. To me, that's tacky and disgusting, and just just immature, ignorant, and low life. Like, yes, I said, like, to me, like if you do that, you're a low life. And it's like, if you want to struggle meal, go get a job. And it's like, and that's the thing, like when it comes to like the homeless community, that's different, and I have empathy for them. But if you're a grown woman and you're only going out on dates, and like especially when women, like when they go on dates, they, oh, I want clams, I want expensive, like especially if they're like they want the expensive meals from these men, and she knows she's not interested in him. So yeah, don't think that I'm just saying all men are awful. I only know majority of the male experience, because I date the males, and that's, I have the experience from the men. And so okay, anyway, but it's like this same guy calls me by the same pet name, so I know he calls all of the women the same pet name. Hey beautiful. And it's just like, okay, you said, hey, yeah, you started off with hey beautiful last time. You don't know me. And like there was one guy who, I think he was like, hey gorgeous or whatever, but I was like, yeah, well, you don't know me yet. So it's like, I was like, I could turn out to be like a witch or just an awful person in your opinion in an hour or two. So can you just stick to my name, either my username, my name, or whatever, until you actually have at least a basis to go off of? Because I don't call like the men, hey gorgeous, hey, like I don't do that. It's like you have to earn that from me. It's like pet names are something, like, I'm not gonna say like serious, but to me it's like it comes from the heart. It comes from like a feeling. And most men, they only have the feeling of trying to get a woman in bed. And I'm not like, and it's just so crazy how many. Okay, if I can find the message I got a couple days ago where the guy literally said, "Come over to my house." And I get this, so like, men, stop doing that. Like, instead of just saying, like, instead of even starting off with hello, tell a woman to come over to your house. And then you're like, then I'm like, I live far away. And then you're like, oh, well, I got 200 for you when you come over. And I promise I'll do this and this, and I'll bend you, blah, blah, blah. Or I'll do this to your kitty or whatever. It's just like, come on. Like, okay, also, how come so many of you men have topless pictures? Like, I guess because I'm a sapiosexual. I want to know that you can actually have a conversation. And this is another thing, like, with Scout and Meet Me, because I have my dating standards, and those standards are only for Scout and Meet Me, because so many of the men on there, when they see that I have like like, it's like higher education, like with my degrees and everything, it's like before I put my standards on there, oh, you think you're something. Oh, you're probably still a stupid, no good, blah, blah, blah. Oh, I know you didn't actually finish that education. Oh, you're black, so I know you paid someone off. Oh, you're this, you're that. And it's just like, so if people judge me for putting standards on there, when if you don't know, ask. If you don't know why I put standards on the app, ask. And if you want to know why I don't put standards on the other, because on Bumble, I don't. It's like, if you don't have higher education, okay, let's still, like, we might still be compatible. Like, the demographic on each app and the treatment on each app is different. But on Meet Me and Scout, it's absolutely horrid. Horrible. It's like, because, like I said, you do not know how many men would, like, they don't, like, again, don't even say hello. They just say, it's like, you spent all that time in school. You should have been bent over so a man can make a baby in you. Oh, you're a waste of time because you don't have any kids. You wasted your life on degrees when you should have been making babies. Oh, let me stick this in you. It's like, and you'll be begging me for more. You'll be begging to have some more kids. Oh, it's like, you need to be trained by the right man. Oh, and then the amount of men who tell me that I'm not woman enough because I will not let a man choke me. Yeah, it's like, it's disgusting how many men. And it's like, 'cause at first, like, I might match with a guy, and the next thing I know, they're like, oh, so I can't wait to get my hand around your neck and stuff. And it's just like, well, no, you're not going to do that. What do you mean I'm not going to do that? Yes, I'm going to do that. No, you're not. Oh, so you're some kind of, and then they call me out my name and all this other stuff. And they say so many swear words and stuff like, and it's just like, oh, you're not a real woman. You're not a real woman. Or, oh, I gotta like dominate you. Oh, yeah, you're one of those, blah, blah, blah. You're so, and it's just like, you need to get away from me. And, but it's just, I guess one reason I'm talking about it, because like right before spring, this, like, because now guys are going to be going out there again, because some of them found they're hibernating, like, or some of them either play their video games so much, or their other hobbies, or hung out with their boys so much. Now that it's getting warmer, they're just like, okay, now I can dominate women again. Now I can be an absolute fool. Now I can be obnoxious, awful, and troll women and treat them like absolute garbage. Now I can tell women to drive to my house and like have a one night stand or whatever, or do whatever I'm going to do, maybe even end up on Dateline. And it's like, let me try to find a woman dumb enough or stupid enough to do it. And it's just like, stop. Just, just, mm. But the end when women know their standards, when women tell a man what they will and what they will not allow within their like aura and everything like that, the man tells them like that they're wrong or that they have to behave. Like, do you know how many men in their profile say that they're looking for a woman that will behave? How many men in their profiles say that they're looking for a woman that will behave? And or like sometimes it's different varieties of a woman that will act right, a woman that will act her role, a woman that knows her place, a woman that knows what a woman is, a woman that knows her femininity. And it's just like every man, so every man is allowed to be different. And like with some men, like women aren't allowed to tell a man what kind of man he has to be or that a man has to behave, a man has to play a certain role because especially in the church they say the man runs the house, the man does like, and that's when I will never get married. Never get married because they expect women to trust men, but some, like not all, but some of these men out here, I will not. They expect us to be submissive. I have met some of the biggest idiots in this on this planet. I have met some of the biggest ignorant, no good, conniving. No, and it's like even getting back to Scout and Meet Me. Do you know how many of those men have been in prison? Do you know how many of those men have been in prison? And I used to be like, okay, well, as long as they, turn the other cheek and they've learned their lesson. No, most of them had. I won't say all, because maybe some of them have, but no. Like during COVID, after I broke up with my ex, it's like there was one guy that I was talking to. I think his name was Lawrence or whatever, and it's like he got out and I was just like, okay, we're not gonna date right now. I want to get to know you. And next thing I know, one night he's on the phone with me and he was like, yeah, if I get back locked back up, it's like, just know I really like I really want to get to know you. I was gonna try to save some money to come and see you, blah blah blah, but yeah, if I get locked up tonight, don't like. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And he was like, well, hey, it was like, once you're in prison, you're meant to always go back to prison. I'm like, tell that to your 10-year-old. Yeah, tell that to your child. Oh, he'll understand, blah, 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 blah. And I'm just like, oh, you think a 10-year-old is going to understand? Really? Really? But yeah, it's like we stopped talking at like, I wanted nothing to do with him. But then he got mad at me. And I'm just like, because that night, he was, I'm not even gonna say what he said he was told me he was gonna do, but I just said, yeah, if you do that, don't you ever, ever, ever talk to me again. And I blocked his number to make sure he didn't, but part of me is just like, and then even with the one guy who ghosted me because I was publishing my children's books. Yeah, he was like, he was in prison for a time, but we talked for months and he was telling me how he was turning his life around and starting a business and all this other stuff. And I was impressed because I'm just like, wow, he had such a rough life. And like I've said in other videos, we talked for months, like from like 9, 10, 11 o'clock at night until the sun came up. And that was like 2 to 3 to 5 times a week we did that. To a point where I was just like, do you need me to send you some energy drink money? I think you need some coffee or energy. Like, I know he likes energy drinks or whatever. So, but it's like, he was like, no, no, it's my fault and stuff like, and I was just, because even like during the phone call, I'm like, I was like, let me just let you go. We'll talk tomorrow. And he's like, no, but I don't want to. And it's just, but yeah, yeah, he never brought up that he was still trying to, like a lot of men who've been in prison is like an education. Prison is like a prison college. It's like a criminal college. Some of them learn from other people, learn from their mistakes, so that when they get out, they can start again and do the same mistakes again. And that's what yeah. And I never want to deal with that again. I refuse. I refuse. And some people are like, why would you date men that like, because like when you have a disability and most men judge you or put you down or blame you. And I was like, all my, like majority of my life, I wasn't diagnosed. So I thought, like, doctors told me the pain was in my head. I wanted attention. It was my fault. I was a liar and stuff like that. So it's like, now that I am diagnosed, when I tell guys, they blame me. Even though I was born with a disability, it was out of my control. They blame me. Or they say that I'm not worthy to walk with, or they'll be embarrassed to walk with. And so that's one reason why I end up with so many bored minute men. These men are bored. They need somebody to entertain their time. And since no one else wants me, I'm kind of a, yeah, they basically try to use me or take advantage of me in order for them to be entertained. They try to tell me to like come to their house and stuff like that. And it's annoying. It's aggravating and annoying, but and I'll look up some of the newer examples, but I have examples somewhere in this phone. Thank you for listening to the Handicapable Black Woman Throne Room. I am a woman, I am of color, and I am handy capable. But most importantly, I am human and you're human too. And yeah, just check out the Patreon because I have most of the racism, or not even most of them. I have mostly the racism type of like screenshots and stuff right now, but I'm going to be getting back into my phone and just putting all of the horrible messages on there over time. It's probably going to take a year, but I will have them all up. So, and I'm going to have cold cases and all types of stuff. So, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.